And welcome to the Howard Eskin Show as you're riding with the King. And on this, as we're live on Saturday morning, there's a lot to talk about. Certainly with the Eagles and their game coming up with Detroit, uh, the AJ Brown, and I've got a few bottles of wine uh, or I got some cheese to go along with his wine. He's got to take care of the whining, and we'll deal with your thoughts about that. And I know there's people that go both ways and kind of side with AJ Brown. We'll talk about that. I want to talk about your Sixers, another lost season, and we're still only 12 games into the season, something like that. It's just they lost to a team on Friday night that were missing their top four scores, and the Sixers lost that game. Joel Embiid is, and Paul George is whatever. We'll get to that. Mark Lawrence will join us to take a look at the weekend football, and I got some opinions about one of the baseball awards. But first, let me tell you that this show is finally presented, or it's presented by somebody that's very good, and that would be Stillwell Financial Advisors and Jeff Stillwell. Jeff knows what he's talking about. I'm telling you, when I see the difference, the different things that are going on with the economy, the different things that are going on with investments, and I talk to Jeff, he can help you out. Any wealth that you want to invest, Jeff can certainly do that. Give him a call at 732 343 0813. 732 343 0813. All right. We'll announce our winner from the last show. A question that I posed of something that Dick Vermeil said. And it's just, and then we have another question that we'll pose for you today, and you can win a Larry Boa autographed baseball. So there are really a lot of things going on. A lot of things going on. And by the way, if you want to join the show, it's easy enough to do that. I say it's easy enough, but some people seem to have some issues. When you click into the link and it's on the chat line there, make sure you allow the mic, hit allow, allow the microphone and camera. Now, if you don't want to be on camera, I'm okay with that as long as the audio is working. Just click off the camera piece. All right. I see there's somebody already on the chat line that thinks the Sixers are frauds. Gee, what gave you that impression that the Sixers are frauds? I mean, is there something that clued you in that they're frauds? JC, complete frauds. Give it some time before we're judging them. Forget it. Complete joke. They couldn't even beat a depleted Pistons team. I said that. The Pistons were missing their top four scores. All right. Before we get to your calls, and I have some questions for you, and you probably have some comments for me. I want to tell you about a great deal from a really, really fun place to go to, and that would be Audi of Westchester. 3.99% financing up to 72 months on the new redesigned A5 and the A5 sedan. So you've got that. 1.99% financing up to 72 months on the Q5 SUV. And the Q5 SUV is a great vehicle, really fun, really nice. I mean, I don't know if you can beat that. So go into Audi Westchester, 1421 Wilmington Pike. You'll have fun at the dealership. Grab a cup of coffee. You'll get a cup of coffee there. Grab some snacks and work out a deal. Once you work out that deal, say, I want Claudio 500. And that's an extra 500 off given to you by Claudio, the sales manager at Audi Westchester. I don't know that you're going to find better deals than that. 3.99% financing for 72 months on the new redesigned A5 and the A5 sedan, and 1.99% financing up to 72 months on the Q5 SUV. Lots of inventory there. Audi Westchester. Check them out, AudiWestchester.com. And I know it's getting cold, but Piazzic probably still has a little time. I know they have a little time, and actually they do it during the winter. but you're thinking about a pool, at least talk to them about it. Piazza Property Pros. They can do it as well, if not better, than anybody. 25 years of experience really is a pretty good thing, especially when they don't subcontract. So it's their people. Piazza Property Pros, whether you want landscaping, pool maintenance, if you already have a pool, excavation, hardscaping, fencing, whatever it is you want for them to take care of your property so you have fun when you have people over there. Piazza Property Pros. They can take care of it for you. Give them a call, 610 566 2608. That's 610 566 2608, or check them out at piazzaoutdoor.com. Joe, do we have somebody that's linked in that we know we have audio from? Uh, yeah, let's go to Jim. Let's see what Jim's got to say. Uh,
How
and
are you?
Jim, how are you today?
Good. Yourself?
Another day in paradise, Jim. And you know what? The teams in Philadelphia are great. Well, at least one of them is good. We'll see if they're great by getting to the Super Bowl. The Sixers are a joke. I don't want to say a disgrace because you should have known what you've got there. But what's on your mind this morning?
So, who do you think this is a bigger game for, the Eagles or the Lions?
I think it's a bigger game for the Lions. And I'll tell you why. Because they're in such a tough division. Now, Green Bay lost. Minnesota, they have I mean, the games they have coming up against those teams, Green Bay and Minnesota, are tougher than what the Eagles have coming up. I mean, this is their toughest game. This is the toughest game left in the season. Now, they'll play Chicago, but they play Chicago here in Philadelphia. They
We
play
still have
the
we have the Chargers though, but that game's going to be much easier because the Chargers have two All-Pro offensive tackles, and they're both out for the year.
Yeah, well, and that's I thought that was going to be a really tough game. I think it's still a tough game, but this is still the toughest game. But even though they're playing at home, because Detroit in the NFC, the best teams in no specific order, and I'll just mention the Eagles as one of them. The Rams, they beat them, so they have the tiebreaker because they beat the Rams. They were lucky to beat the Rams. They beat the Rams, and Detroit are the two. I think Tampa's kind of falling
I
out of
was
it.
looking at the schedule. I didn't look at Seattle's schedule, but Tampa, they're 6-4. The next 2 weeks, they got the Bills, Rams, and I mean, they could easily lose both of those. And then the Rams, they still have two against Seattle. They have the Tampa and the Lions, and then the Lions
Well,
have the Eagle.
and Seattle's playing in a tough. They have the Rams in the division. San Francisco, I'm not a big fan of, and Arizona's okay, but the Eagles are going to win the division. Now it's getting the best record, and if they played in the playoffs, if they played the Rams, Detroit, or Seattle, Seattle's an unknown, but Seattle's really good. I would say those three teams. They play any one of those three teams. I don't care where it is. They're tough games. But as far as this game, I think it's more important for Detroit than it
Yeah,
is.
because also if the Eagles win, the Eagles will be 8-2, and Detroit would be 6-4. But the Eagles would really be 3 games up on them because of the tiebreaker.
Yeah, because they'd have the tiebreaker. So, all right, let me ask you about AJ Brown. I get comments because I posted a couple, and I'm going to play them later. AJ Brown, he can't help himself. He mentioned something on a streaming show that take me off your fantasy team. And he knew that would start something. If he didn't, he's really out to lunch or out to breakfast, or he's just plain out. And then when he spoke, and players have to speak each week, when he spoke, he just, if you were me, wouldn't you be upset? Yeah, you might be upset, but you don't bring it up. So your thoughts on AJ Brown, and it seems like he complains every week.
It's turning into all about him, rather than the team winning. They just won the Super Bowl. They've been in two Super Bowls in 3 years. They're 7-2. It's turning into all about him. He wants the ball over everybody else. Devontae Smith, Garrett Barkley, whoever else. It's almost getting to the point where, like, if he had 7 catches for 110 yards and a touchdown and they lost, who the hell knows if he would care as much?
Well, he's not happy that he's not among the top receivers in the NFL, and
I
he's
actually think for the first time ever, he might not be on the team next year.
well. I was just going to ask you. So you don't? I don't think he's going to be on the team next year.
What you do is you trade him to an AFC team. You don't get. Kansas City, Buffalo, New England, they're all going to need receivers. I wouldn't send them there. You send them to someplace like Oakland or some one of the crappy teams.
Yeah, why would you? Why would you want? Why would you want him? And if he doesn't get enough catches, there's going to be complaints because now next year is the last year of guaranteed money on his contract. Not that he shouldn't complain. He's making 32 million next year, and I guess around 30 next year. But he would complain because obviously he's going to want another contract. It's just,
Hey,
it's
and then
brutal.
another thing with that trade they just made for the guy from Miami, the Eagles had the third round pick from they had the Jets third round pick from that Hassan Reddick trade 2 years
Yep,
ago.
it's a pretty good pick.
Yeah, so that's essentially going to be like essentially like a second round
Yeah, but
pick.
you know what they needed.
They gave Miami the Eagles gave Miami their pick, so they kept the Jets pick.
Oh, they kept the Jets pick.
Yes.
So, but yeah, I mean, I'm not worried about the draft picks. You're worried about players. They had to make a deal. Brandon Graham coming back is nice, and it's a good story, but he's not going to give you the number of snaps. And we saw that in the first game that Phillips played. He's not going to give you those snaps. One last question: are you done with the Sixers?
I don't even pay attention to the NBA.
The NBA sucks. Wait a minute, it's the NBA Cup. You can tell because the courts are colored differently when they play in those. What the hell is the NBA Cup? It's the biggest
Yeah,
joke. The
Phillies,
NBA is a
Eagles,
farce. And
college
NBA's
basketball.
it's a total farce. The NBA is a total farce. They color the course. Oh, it's the NBA Cup. You think the teams even give a damn? No. Hey,
All right, see you
Jim,
later.
right? All right, take
Yep.
care. All
Bye.
right, take care. Hey, Joe, do we have somebody else up there before we get to Mark Lawrence? Okay, let's go to Bob. Let's go to Bob. Let's see if he's hooked. Hey, Bob, what's happening? Bob, you can speak, Bob. I see you. Are you there, Bob? Bob doesn't hear me. Maybe Bob doesn't have his audio up. All right, all right, Bob. All right, Bob. We'll try you back. Let's. You got to be able to hear me. Okay, let's go to George.
Morning, Howard.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, I want to get to a topic that no one wants to talk about. How about the Flyers? Rick Tocchet, man.
Wait a minute. I mentioned the Flyers. What did I say the last show? I said I think the Flyers, excluding the Eagles, and I think the Eagles have a better chance to win a championship sooner. The Flyers are the next team I think that will win. I don't know if it's anytime soon. The next team that will win a championship in Philadelphia, in my opinion.
I'm
Other
watching
than the
them
Eagles.
play.
Other
I'm
than the
watching them
Eagles.
play, and I don't make a big deal until like after 25 games. But they're well coached. Rick Tocchet's a good coach.
Rick Tocchet is a terrific coach. He's done a great job. I know they won in the shootout on Friday night. Flyers have a winning record. The Flyers have some good young players
They're
with
8-5-3,
uh,
8-5-3 right now, and
yeah,
I'm sitting there. I'm like, man, these he is they are playing for him, and then when they don't, he calls them out. Really,
and that's good. And you know what? They respect him. They
correct.
respect him. That's the thing is when you call it. I don't think there's enough of that. If if the players respect you when you get called out, you're going to play. No, I mentioned, I said the last show, I
Right.
think, excluding the Eagles, I think the Flyers are the next team to win a championship in Philadelphia.
As AJ turns, I'm getting over him. I'm tired. Dude, you're on a Super Bowl championship team. It's about winning. And you're right. You know what? Each time I watch Devontae Harris, I watch how he presents himself. I see him on after post-game shows. Don, he gets it. Deontay,
Who?
he's a better receiver, Deontay Smith. Better receiver.
You said Devontae Harris.
Sorry, my
Devontae
bad, my
Smith.
bad. Devontae Smith, sorry.
Yeah,
He's a better receiver.
I've said that too. I think he's a better receiver. He's faster. He catches the one-on-one balls as well, if as well, at least as well as AJ Brown. He creates a little more separation. And here's my point about AJ Brown. People have taken both sides. Oh, he has every right to complain. Well, and then they blame the offensive coordinator Kevin Petula. Let me tell you, and I continue to tell people it's not the offensive coordinator. It's not Kevin Patullo. They've cut down the plays to make it, I'll say, easier for Jalen Hurts. They don't include as many plays as they do have in their playbook. And isn't it the quarterback's responsibility, or isn't it the quarterback that has to get the ball to the receiver? And I don't think that Jalen Hurts is comfortable throwing in the tighter windows, which you're going to have tighter windows with AJ Brown sometimes, and sometimes he doesn't even find them. We've seen the videos. He doesn't even find him when he's open. So, and with Devontae Smith, he always has a little more separation, and because Jalen he does throw a really good deep ball, there's less chance for interceptions. I think he's too worried about throwing an interception. You don't want to throw an interception, but I think it's the quarterback's responsibility as much as anybody to get the ball to AJ Brown. It's not the offensive coordinator. Not.
It sounds like you've been saying that a while, and you've been ripped for basically saying you don't think Jalen's a good quarterback, but I think Jalen is a good quarterback. I think he's a good quarterback. I think he is uncomfortable with certain parts of the playbook, and I think him and AJ got to get on the same page a little bit and communicate. AJ's got to communicate.
I think they're on the same page. I just don't think Jalen is always comfortable throwing it to AJ because his windows are a little tighter than Devontae Smith. And he
has no problem throwing to Devontae Smith, man. Devontae Smith.
Well, Devontae Smith creates a little more separation.
So do
the Eagles win on Sunday? The Eagles win on Sunday, George?
You know what? I thought they were going to lose to Green Bay. I think they win Sunday. I think Detroit.
This is the toughest game. This is the toughest game. Yeah,
I think people are right that this is a bigger game for Detroit because they want to prove something. But I
don't think they need to prove something. They need to win their division because they're in a tougher division.
I watched the defense. I know a lot of people thought it was a crappy game. I like defense, and I think the Eagles' defense right now is what's carrying them right now. And like the old adage says,
they're good, but they're not as good as last year.
I'll still take them. Still take them.
All right. Hey, George, have a great weekend.
You too. Take it easy.
Thanks for jumping in. All right. Before we get to Mark Lawrence, I want to tell you about our winner from the last show. He won a Jeremiah Trotter autographed Eagles cap. That's Jeremiah Trotter Sr., not Junior. Senior's on the Wall of Fame. I don't think Junior's, plays hard and does all that, but he's not going to be on the Wall of Fame. And the question was, Dick Vermeil mentioned his salary for his last year at UCLA before he came to the Eagles, and his salary his first year with the Eagles. It was $30,000 his last year at UCLA, and his first year at the Eagles it was $50,000. Think about that. I mean, Nick Sirianni's making over $15 million. Back in 1976, Dick Vermeil made $50,000 a year his first year with the Eagles, but he got his house payment paid for, so that's big. But Tom Carriger, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, Tom. You are a winner from people that had the right answer, and you were selected at random. Thanks, Tom. And we'll have a Larry Boa baseball to give away during the show, later in the show, with a question that I will present to you. Right now, let's bring in Mark Lawrence to take a look at this weekend football. There's actually more games in college football, good games, than I thought there were when I originally looked at it, and we're going to take a look at it. Mark, welcome.
How are you doing, Howard?
Good morning. Good. How are you?
I'm doing just terrific. Thank you.
Okay, great. All right. Clemson, actually, I looked at Clemson, and why were they only a 1.5 underdog to Louisville? Because they ended up winning the game last night. That's why they were only a 1.5 underdog. I don't think Clemson's that good, but Louisville now, they're done. I don't think they can win their conference now after that loss. So,
well, I don't think Louisville can either, but it was a desperation game for Clemson. Obviously.
And then
conference, biggest disappointment in all of college football this year.
Yeah, terrible. All right. And there's teams now, they need one more win to get to 6 and become bowl eligible. But there are teams that also need wins to become bowl eligible with the 6 wins. All right, taking a look at the college football, who do you like?
I'm going to fade 2 favorites this week that are coming off bubble burst losses. They were undefeated. They lost last week for the first time this season, ruined the perfect season. This is the optimum time to use these teams, and they work like charms. And that's why I'm going to use them. The first one is Boston College. We're going to take 16.5 against Georgia Tech, who had their perfect season ruined last year.
Last week.
Or last week, I'm sorry, yeah.
Right.
An upstart team, sort of, Georgia Tech this year. I think people realized they were going to be a real good team. Haynes King, their quarterback, will be in New York for the Heisman Trophy vote. I really, truly believe that. He's that talented. He runs the ball more than he throws the ball, but nonetheless, he's the reason Georgia Tech was undefeated going into last week. You're going to use Boston College here, plus 16.5. They're an ugly dog, and there is no question about that. But what they are is this is their last home game of the season. And you're also taking a look, the two times that Boston College went up against top 25 ranked teams, they won the money in both football games,
Wow.
which tells you that teams tend to play down to their level. The good teams do anyway.
And it's Bill
College-
O'Brien trying to help himself a little bit. I don't know that he's going to get fired, but they've had such an awful season at Boston College. It would kind of help him a little bit
I
to,
think so.
yeah, to play a good game. If they win the game, that would be amazing if they win the game, but they're getting 16.5
Yep.
points. All right. Who else do you like?
The other one, we're going to fade Brigham Young, BYU, who lost their first game last week. We're going to play TCU plus 3.5 in that football game. And I can see BYU losing this whole game right on the field here again. This is a pretty good TCU football team that we're talking about here, more than capable of winning this contest. Brigham Young was a bit of a surprise again this year, but kudos to them for the job they did. But you come up flat this late stage of the season here. They had their visions on winning the Big 12 championship. Now they don't win this football game. They're not even going to be in the Big 12 title game. And I think that's going to be the case here today. I think TCU exposes BYU in this football game.
Okay. Are there any other teams that you see that are desperate that you kind of like or looking ahead? It's two different questions, but let's desperate or looking ahead.
Well, the look ahead, I think, on the card would probably be Southern Cal. They're kind of worming their way into the Big Ten situation there right now
Mhm.
after a slow start. They've got a bigger game on deck with Oregon next week, which will determine a lot of what happens to Southern Cal this football
Right.
season. And they're going to take on Iowa this week. And Iowa's playing some really good under the radar football this year. Taking 6.5, Iowa. I think they're the better defensive team for sure. They are, and I think they can take that game right to the wire as well. I think Iowa catches USC looking ahead here this week.
Okay, if Oklahoma loses, they're done for really anything that they thought they could get at the beginning of the season. How do you look at that game with Oklahoma? And obviously, that's a really tough game.
It is a tough game, but you've got a lot on the line here on the other side with Alabama here as well. Alabama looks to be headed toward the SEC championship game. If they can dispose of Oklahoma today, that's likely where they're going to end up being. And you've got a big, big run going on here by the Tide right now. A lot of people didn't think they were going to be this good, and I think most others thought they were because of the down season they had last year under Kalen DeBoer. But they've really shown their true colors. Alabama has. I don't want any Oklahoma here today. I think you're going to see the real Alabama in this football game. This game is as bigger to Alabama than it is to Oklahoma.
Yeah, so you would lean towards Alabama.
Yes, I would.
Okay. I can't believe Penn State's favored on the road as poorly as they played this year. But because they're favored on the road, they're probably the side. I don't know why, but they're probably the side.
Well, I'm going to look the other way. I'm going to look at Michigan State here. You talked
Okay.
about, yeah.
Yeah, but the point is, how can Penn State be favored on the road?
Well, that's the question. For as poorly as they played, if you put tape over the name of these two teams, you'd insist Penn State was the underdog in the football game. There's nothing they've done that's been good this football season here. Michigan State is still technically alive to become bowl eligible. They still got to win all three of their football games, this being the first leg. Then they have to beat Iowa and Maryland, which are possibilities. But I think you're going to find Michigan State come with their best game of the season this year. And I think that's a bad line, like you said. Penn State should not be favored like this.
All right, two what I think are good teams this year, favored at home, but they may not be the side. First of all, North Carolina at Wake Forest. Originally, I kind of liked Wake Forest because they played really well this year. but because they're coming off a big win, I think they had a big win last week. Would you go against Wake Forest in this situation?
I think it's more a go against Wake Forest than it is on North Carolina. You got to have to give Belichick a little bit of credit. This team has awoken this year so far. The last two football games have been really strong football games. They've won one. They won them both easily in the yardage, 260 yards last week. They won the games. They're on the come right now. North Carolina is, and this could be a bad spot for Wake Forest here. They're a real good football team, Wake Forest. They've surprised teams, but now they're laying points. And I think it's a different role for Wake Forest here. I think you have to look at Bill Belichick here in this game. As
You know
bad,
what?
as badly as I have to say that, but you have to.
I know. It's just it really is. And next week they're playing a high school team, so he'll get if he wins today, he'll get his 6 wins. I do not want to see North Carolina in a bowl game because all we'll do is just the camera will be on Bill Belichick the whole game, and
Absolutely.
I won't be able to take it. All right, another team, a good team, favored at home, but they're favored against a ranked team. Duke is 3.5 against Virginia, but something tells me you don't like Duke.
I do not like Duke. I think they're a fraud. This Duke football team is this year. They stepped up and beat some Sisters of the Poor. They played one good game that they pulled an upset in. But I think this Virginia football team, they're really quietly on the come right now themselves. They're playing some really good football right now. I think the wrong team could be favored here. Now, it was only a month ago I was crying about how phony Virginia was this football season here. But
Yeah.
they turned their play around here the last 3 or 4 games. And I like what they're doing here right now. I think Virginia plus the points has to be the side in the football game.
All right. You know, the look aheads, sometimes there could be tough teams because when you're in the SEC, there's really some tough teams. Uh, Georgia at home. I'm not a Georgia fan this year. I think they're just, they're good, but I think the expectations were higher than who they are. Who do you like in that game? In
I'm
Georgia?
going to look at Texas in this football game. It's a big game, obviously, for both football teams. I think it's bigger for Texas than it is Georgia. Bigger for Texas because of the college football playoff situation they're in. They can't afford another loss.
Hmm.
You've got Arch Manning playing like it was supposed to be Arch Manning here finally for this football team. This team was coming into the season, the preseason AP number one ranked team, and now they're the underdog in this football contest here. I think Texas wins this game. I think they're not going to expose Georgia. Georgia's a pretty good football team, but I think they're going to come and show exactly why they were the number one ranked team in the preseason. I like Texas in the upset here.
Okay. All right. Let's go to the NFL. Who do you like in the NFL?
NFL, I'm going to play against one of our favorite plays, and that's leaking oil. These favorites that are being outplayed or outgained in the stats, and they just keep getting bit when they keep laying points. The first, I'm going to fade at the Atlanta Falcons, who have suddenly, I thought they were a pretty good football team to begin the season. They started out well, but they've really tanked here. They've been out-yarded their last 4 football games in a row. Things aren't right. There's something not right in Atlanta going on here right now. And I'm going to use Carolina plus three
Wow.
and a half, who might be the surprise team in the NFL this year, if for no other reason, the fact that they're still in the talk, they're still mathematically alive in the playoff race. You're taking 3.5 points here. That's 4 straight games in a row Atlanta's lost the stats. They cannot lose the stats to this team because Carolina's playing some pretty good football here. I'll take the Panthers plus 3.5.
Boy, Carolina and that game's at Atlanta,
Yes,
right?
it is, right. They're
Okay.
getting
So you're like,
respect, right?
yeah, just and the line. Well, it's not when you look at it, it's really not cheap because Atlanta has a losing record where Carolina is at least
Correct.
500.
Right.
So, all right, who else do you like?
The other guy, I'm going to play Cincinnati plus 5.5 against Pittsburgh, who I think is the phoniest team in the National Football League. You got a great quarterback matchup here. Flacco and Rodgers, arguably 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks. Whether or not Flacco makes the Hall of Fame remains to be seen.
Right.
He has credentials, but he's playing some really, really good football right now. As good as any quarterback in the NFL right now. He's not turning the ball over. And you've got this Pittsburgh team that has outyarded one team this year. One team, they outyarded the Cleveland Browns. Uh, I think this when Aaron Rodgers came over here, all his expectations were super high for
Yes.
Pittsburgh. They're not even coming close to any expectations here. Baltimore is going to slide past them so fast and win this division here. Pittsburgh might end up being the 3rd team in this division here, rather than win the division. They got sitting on top of the league right now. but they're soon to be falling like the winter temperatures here.
Well, if they're out yarded this game, 5.5 is a healthy number for Cincinnati. They don't
Yes,
have
it
to
is.
win the game; they just have to cover by liking Cincinnati. I
Exactly.
mean, so all right, so there are two interesting plays with teams that are not above 500. Although Pittsburgh, you're right, Pittsburgh is so overrated. All right, looking at some of these lines, Minnesota. I thought started to play well, but they're only 2.5 against the Bears. I know the Bears. I don't know if the Bears are as good as people think they are, but they are better this year. Who do you like in that game?
Well, I think you have to give Chicago their due. Since Ben Johnson's taken over, they got off to that slow start. They're playing some really good football right now. They're on a real nice win streak, winning and covering. But more importantly, Minnesota's taken them out 3 straight times in a row. And that will get Chicago's attention in this football game here. I think they're playing the good football right now. Minnesota is not playing their best football right now. I think the Bears could continue their winning ways and steal the win in Minnesota there.
Before I ask you about another game, who do you think in the NFL is the biggest surprise in the entire NFL? The biggest surprise. If you had to look at a team that you say, I never thought they were going to be nearly that good.
Well, I didn't think, first of all, Seattle was going to be this good, okay? Uh, but this head coach, McDonald, has really proven to be a gem, unquestionably. All they do is win football games, and they win football games on the road, no less. 11-1 on the road with him, straight up. I think that they're the surprise overachiever this year as far as an under the radar type team. I mentioned Carolina before, only because they're still sniffing 500. It's a football team that was expected to be dead last in their division here, but they're playing some pretty good football here right now. You're seeing better quarterback play, really great coaching from Carolina. I think the Panthers are the big surprise.
Oh, so they're a bigger surprise than Seattle, Carolina,
Well,
in your
only
opinion.
because they're not supposed to be that well, but Seattle is really,
Right.
really good. I mean, this is a football team. This game against the Rams on Sunday is going to be must-watch TV because these two teams are hitting on all cylinders.
Yeah, I mean obviously the two best teams in that division,
Yes,
and maybe maybe the two best teams in the NFC.
they
You
could
know,
well be. They
yeah,
could
I
well be.
mean,
Exactly.
Eagles fans don't want to hear that, but they may be. I said may. The Eagles fans, they just get over it. All right, Seattle at the Rams. I think the Rams are playing so well, and you'd say, "Wow, Seattle's getting points." That is a tough game. Who do you like in that game? That's really a good game. Everybody talks about the Eagles and Detroit being the best game of the week. I don't know that Seattle and the Rams aren't the best game of the week.
I think Seattle and the Rams are the game of the week this
Yes.
particular week. You can say Detroit, Philadelphia because of their playoff pedigree and everything, but these two teams are playing as well as anybody in the league right now. I'm going to go side with Seattle in the contest here, largely because of what I just mentioned about how this team wins games. They know how to win games on the road. 11-1 under McDonald, that's unbelievable. And also look at their body of work this year here. They lost their first game of the season against San Francisco and were outyarded. They've outyarded every team they've played since then. This is not a fluke what Seattle's doing here.
Mhm.
They're steamrolling past football teams here, and I think they can put the stops to the Rams in this game as well.
Seattle. It's not a so you like Seattle. It's
Yes.
not a revenge game. However, there are some revenge games. I don't know if you've looked at those the revenge games, and does it mean anything to you?
They don't. I don't honestly. I don't look at them here until we roll around into December when they become meaningful. When they do things like that, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, is that revenge? Yeah, but who cares?
Yeah, right.
That sort of a thing here. But this is not a revenge game for Seattle and the Rams. So
Not yet. Not yet.
it doesn't factor in, right?
I think is Arizona a revenge game against the 49ers?
I believe it is.
Yeah.
Let me take a quick look here.
Yeah.
Arizona was playing so well. Yeah, Arizona lost 16-15 at Frisco early in the season. Some reason for Arizona to play here. I don't like the way they lost last week. It was completely unlike Arizona. Every game they played been close to the vest. All one-score losses, all one-score wins, and they were destroyed finally last week. San Francisco got a whole lot of reason to play here. I know they like Brock Purdy being back behind center. And people say to me, is there a difference between Mac Jones and Brock Purdy? Absolutely, there's a difference between the two of them. if for no other reason, look at the look at their paychecks.
Yeah, right. Well, they can look at them. But so, do you like Arizona in this game?
No, I like San Francisco
Oh,
in
you
this.
like San
Yes.
Francisco in the game,
Right.
and that's even though they won the first meeting. So uh,
It's
it's
all
revenge,
situational.
but it's not. Yeah,
It's all where San Francisco is today. The need for San Francisco, they can't coming off the loss they had, a big time loss last week, a really bad loss. It's Kyle Shanahan. It's his kind of a game, and he gets better as the season wears on. Does San Francisco here, and I think it'll start here in this game.
all right. Another big game, but it's not a conference game. Tampa and Buffalo. Buffalo, I can't believe they've struggled as much as they've struggled. But Tampa's starting to struggle too, and Buffalo is like 5.5 against Tampa. Do you like a side in that
Well,
game?
you hit it right on the head, Howard. Tampa is struggling. They're doing just that. People don't realize, they played some good football. Baker Mayfield's really exciting, all these late comeback wins and everything. But 5 games in a row, they've been out-yarded here. That's going to end up biting you sooner than later. And the thing to Buffalo is, number one, it's a cheap price because of the embarrassing loss to Miami. But they also lead the National Football League, Buffalo does, in rushing attempts per game, which means that they control the ball. And if they control the ball in this football contest here, I think it could be lights out for Tampa here. I think Buffalo is going to make a statement in this football game.
So you like laying? You have no problem laying the 5.5.
I would lay Buffalo minus the 5.5. Yes.
All right. The Chargers have been okay, but not what you expected. And their favorite in Jacksonville is really kind of. I don't know what the hell is going on with them, but the Chargers are favored on the road. I don't know if I like them favored on the road.
I don't. This is kind of a really turning point of the season game for Jacksonville coming in here. And I think they're going to get the Chargers in the right role. The Chargers have been going up against some really pretty tough opposition here. They've been toe to toe in some big, big football games. And this is a big letdown for them. If they could play down to the level of anybody, it would be Jacksonville coming into this game here. They're in a nice role. There's no question. But that offensive line for the Chargers is beat up, and they could be exposed in this football game.
All right. Let's take a look at the Eagles. Eagles are a 2.5 point favorite. The Lions kind of sat there all week. I think Detroit, this is a more important game for Detroit, I think, because their division is tougher. But I don't know how much that's going to make a difference. But nonetheless, it's Detroit as the underdog this week. You're not going to find them in that situation many times. Who do you like?
Well, the main thing for Detroit that works for them, especially for what we're talking about, Howard, is there is no coach in the National Football League that's any better at winning money than Dan Campbell. Unbelievable. His career with Detroit, 58-32 against the spread. That's phenomenal.
That is really good.
All he does is wins money. That's all this guy does. And he's in his best role in this Eagles game because when he takes on a team like Philadelphia that's off back-to-back wins and covers, he's been there 8 times. He's not lost the money any time. So the team is playing well. His opponent, he gets his attention. They focus more and they focus deeper here. The Eagles have got to bring their A game here because this is one tough competition customer they got here in Detroit here. Only because of the dog, I would lean to Detroit in the football game. Now, if Detroit were laying here, and I'm telling you all these good stats against on Dan Campbell about winning the money, I would say, yeah, but he's a better dog, and he is a better dog winning the money.
You know what?
I'll lean in this game to Detroit.
Eagles are going to have to get into the mid to high 20s, I think, to
Yes.
win this game. And that 10-point game, that was they won the game, but come on, they have 3 points going into the fourth quarter. That's just pathetic. It's just pathetic.
Hey, Howard, let me share this one thing with you before I get out of here. This is really interesting. Roll it back to college football a little bit here, but
Sure.
I saw the most bizarre thing I've ever seen in college football last week, and it involved Sam Houston State. They were winless, and they won their first football game of the season. They were a 21-point dog, which means there's a letdown for them this week.
Yeah.
But they won the game against Oregon State, and they lost the yards by 317 yards.
How does
do you
that
get beat
happen?
by 300 yards and win a football game?
How to be turnovers?
I don't know, but all I can tell you is Sam Houston State will not show up today. They're on cloud 9 right now.
Well, it's like Indianapolis. They had 6 turnovers. That's why they lost the game. I forget.
Yes.
A couple of weeks ago they had
Exactly.
6. You can't turn. I mean, if you turn the ball over twice, you're in trouble. But when you turn it over 6 times,
Multiple times, no.
all right. One other, excuse me, one other game Dallas is playing the Eagles next week. I can't believe they can look ahead because they can't even look at the game they're playing that week. They suck. But they got to win at Las Vegas, don't they? Don't they have to win this game at Las Vegas?
Well, they have to. Will they? I don't think they will.
it's,
They've
a
been beat
joke.
twice in a
It's
row,
a
both as
joke.
favorites. Now they're going to go out as a favorite in this football game here as well. This is a bad football team, Howard, the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry
It's a
Jones makes
terrible
all this
team.
off the field rhetoric and everything, but they're still a bad football team here. And off back to back losses as a favorite, I think they get exposed in this game here as well.
You
I
know,
cannot back Dallas as a favorite against anybody.
the Eagles will be at Dallas next week, and the Eagles have to be at least what, a 4 to 6 point favorite next week
If the Eagles beat Detroit this week, they're going to be at least 6 in the football game.
at Dallas.
At Dallas, exactly right. So it depends upon how the Eagles look this week, how Dallas looks this week. But right now, if they played this week, okay, the Eagles would be 5 to 6 point favorites right now.
Gee, that's just boy. How does Dallas suck so much? They suck. It's a joke. All right, Mark. People who have interest in your services, 800-321-7777 or on the internet at playbooksports.com. Dallas sucks. And that's the Monday night game. Boy, isn't that a treat?
Oh my
Uh,
goodness.
it just two. It wasn't bad enough that you've had bad Monday night games, but this is a joke.
It's atrocious.
I know. It's all right. And Mark, have a great week, and we'll talk to you again next
Hey,
week.
best of luck, Howard. Good luck this week. I'll catch you next week. Be well.
All right. Thanks. All right, take care. Dallas, they do suck. And I think Cowboy Jim's there, but he's going to have to. He's going to have to wait because I'll get him on just to bury him again. But there's other people up there that we want to talk to. Well, I also want to thank. Not also, I do want to thank our presenting sponsor. Really important for you, for me, but certainly for you. Stillwell Financial Advisors can help you invest for your future. We got to look at our future because our present right now in this country is just a little shaky. I would say it's a little shaky, but we got to look at our future. And Jeff Stillwell financially can help you look at your future, and he will do so. Just give him a call. Talk to him, see what you think. Good guy, sharp guy. Hey, it's one thing to be a good guy, but he's a sharp guy when it comes to investing. 732-343-0813. And by the way, I will have a question for you. And this week, you will have a chance to win a autographed baseball from Larry Boa. Answer the question correctly. Have it in by Tuesday, November 18th at midnight. We'll announce it on the show on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. The winner will be randomly chosen from all the correct entries, and I'll come up with the question shortly to win that baseball. All right. Let me also tell you about a great deal going on at Audi Westchester. All right, look at that. And if you're not looking at it, I'm going to tell you about it. 3.99% financing up to 72 months on the new redesigned A5 and redesigned A5 sedan. That is a really good interest rate on financing. Really, really good. But really good is 1.99% financing up to 72 months on the Q5 SUV. And that's a really nice vehicle. Q5. So go in there, work out your best deal with these great interest rates. And you might want to look at some of the other vehicles. They have a large inventory of vehicles, fun place to go to, great people. You'll have fun talking to them, enjoy a cup of coffee, a snack, whatever it is, and work out your best deal. 1421 Wilmington Pike is where Audi Westchester is located. Go and get your best deal. And then after you get your best deal, ask for the Claudio 500. Claudio, get an extra $500 off when you mention that code off your best deal. And Claudio, the sales manager there, will make sure you're taken care of. But the people there will make sure you're taken care of. Audi Westchester, great financing rates, 3.99% on the redesigned A5 and A5 sedan, 1.99% financing up to 72 months on the Q5 SUV. And then after you work out your deal, ask for the Claudio 500, get another 500 off. Audi Westchester, check them out, AudiWestchester.com. All right. Also, another great partner of the program, Piazza Property Pros. You want a pool. Okay. All right. You're not sure about the pool, but you want to get your property taken care of to make it look nice. And they can do some things there, whether it's a fire pit, whether it's a hot tub, whatever it is, pools, uh, landscaping, 25 years of experience with Piazza Property Pros, 25 years. It tells you a lot. It means that they know what they're doing. And also, they don't subcontract, which is good too. So, great work, craftsmanship, unmatched customer service. Give them a call, 610 566 2608. Schedule a free consultation. Now, not everybody schedules free consultations, or check them out, piazzaoutdoor.com. All right. There's a couple of things that I do want to deal with. The Sixers are a joke. Sixers are a joke. A joke. I know they have a winning record. They lost to a team. This is great. They lost to a team that were without their top four scorers. Detroit's a good team, but they're not as good if they're missing their top four scores. Embiid's still out, but he's irrelevant. I think he's irrelevant anymore. He's a shadow of what he was. He's always hurt, and he's going to be hurt. He's got now his right knee is sore. His left knee is where he got the procedure in the offseason. Paul George is just flat out stealing money, flat out stealing money. So it's just, and the NBA is a joke. Oh, wait a minute. Those games on Friday night, that was the NBA Cup. Oh, that's an in-season tournament. Does anybody know what the bleep that means? No. What does it mean? It means nothing. Oh, some players are going to get a trophy at the end. Means nothing. Some players are going to get extra money. So what? They're making millions and millions and millions. Like, who cares? NBA's trying to do something to make their league relevant, and they can't do it. They can't do it because it is a bad product, a terrible product. And the other thing I'm tired of when a player makes a shot, he's got to scream and mug for the camera. Just play the game. Act like you've been there before, will you? I don't care. And then ESPN, the the ridiculousness of ESPN. They got to show the guy screaming. Oh, great. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's just, and then staring players down. Just play the game. Just play the game. All right. Joe, I know we have some people up there that want to get on the show. Who should we go to next? And we got who? Oh my gosh. Yeah, let's go to Cowboy Jim. Hey, nice hair.
Like that?
Yeah,
Looks good.
Yeah,
There's nobody else calling. You're just take me.
No, wait a minute. I do.
They
No,
can't figure it out.
I do have three other people on.
Yeah,
there,
right.
But I want to bury you.
One can't work the camera, one can't work the audio. Just go to Cowboy Jim.
Okay.
Yeah, listen, I
Hey,
can't.
First of all, you should drop Cowboy because they're an embarrassment. They really are an embarrassment. No, tell me, aren't the Cowboys an embarrassment?
Halfway through the season, yes. Right now, they are an embarrassment.
Okay, you admit it. They are an embarrassment. They suck. If they lose to the Raiders, my gosh, if they lose to the Raiders, that is an embarrassment.
That's why my hair is this way. That's why it gets grayer every day.
You got to give it up. You got to find another team.
No, I'm not going to do that. Listen, and now I have to suffer through another Monday night game. Oh, but this football, you keep saying basketball is a bad product, but the NFL is a bad product too. Come on, it was a week ago when the Broncos won 10-7 and everybody was like,
Close
"Oh,
games. All they care about is close game. The NBA rarely has close games.
well, no," but like the Knicks put up 140 points last night.
I
You're
know
like,
that's a
"What?
joke. There's no defense.
How
There's
does
no
that
defense.
happen? How does that happen?"
Happen because nobody plays defense. It's just brutal.
But
Absolutely brutal.
but that Denver Raiders game 10-7, and then the Eagles go 10-7, and you're like, everyone's like, "Oh, that was a great defensive match. That was the Come on, 10-7. Eagles had 3 points into the fourth quarter. I mean, the NFL is a joke, and it's week to week.
The
Like
NFL
Buffalo,
is a joke.
like Buffalo wins. They lose.
But
Buffalo
people
loses to
bet it. As
Miami.
long as people are betting the games, it doesn't matter.
Oh, it's just it's ridiculous. I don't know what to watch anymore, and I'm not.
You
I
know,
mean,
two teams scored 140 or more last night. That's
mhm,
amazing.
yeah.
No, excuse me. Three teams scored 140 or more. Nobody plays defense.
No.
And they throw up threes. It's like, who cares? You know, a guy drives to the lane and it just said, and the defender gets out of the way. It is terrible. The rebounders are horrible. It is terrible,
I have.
terrible, terrible.
All right, I wanted to ask you one other thing too about Schwarber coming in. I think he came in second in the MVP. I just think
That's
that's.
okay.
I
It's
know.
okay.
I just think a DH is wrong. I mean, what's his fielding percentage? Did he strike anybody out? I mean, come on. Otani is just the greatest baseball player ever. So why would
Well,
Schwarber? He's
well, it doesn't matter.
DHing.
Otani won. Who else would you put second?
Well, not
Otani was
Schwarber.
definitely the MVP because he's a terrific pitcher and he's a great hit. Here's a pitcher that hits 50 some home runs and he
Right.
steals bases, drives in runs. He was the MVP.
I know,
There's
but
no question.
if
I mean, who
Otani was
cares who's
hurt,
second? Who cares who's second?
I'm just saying, like if Otani was hurt and he out the whole year, they'd have given it to Schwarber, and it's like, what did he do? Did he play third base? Did he
Yeah, but who else?
pitch?
But he was an MVP. The Phillies won the division, right? Schwarber had 50 some, whatever it was, 50 some home runs. He drove in 130 some runs this year. At least he had RBIs, and he's the most important player in their lineup. So I'm okay with Schwarber if it's not Otani, but I'm not okay with the American League MVP. I'm not okay with Aaron Judge. Aaron
Well, look at
Judge
his
is a
numbers, though. But look
well,
at
wait, 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 well,
Aaron Judge's
I'm gonna
numbers.
break this down for you, dope. All right, I'm gonna break this down for you. Aaron Judge had 50 some home runs. Great. He had what 130 RBIs or something like that. Okay, great. He hit like 330 something. That's great.
He's not
He's
DHing.
wait. He's the player of the year. He's not the MVP. The Yankees didn't win the division.
What doesn't
Uh,
matter about that?
Okay. You know, the catcher for Seattle is without question, in my opinion, Seattle won the division. He had 50 some home runs. He's a switch hitter with 50 some home runs. How many times do you see that? A switch hitter with 50 some home runs. And I mean, and he's a really good defensive catcher. He is the MVP. Aaron Judge is a great guy, and he's the player of the year. He's not the MVP. The writers that vote for these things should not be voting because they don't know what the hell they're doing. I mean, they just pick, and it's a New York bias. Aaron
Well,
Judge is a really, really good guy.
All right. One more thing. One more thing on Micah Parsons. No talk of Micah Parsons. He was non-existent. $47 million. What do you have? One tackle? Come on. I mean, this is just. I think getting rid of him.
Didn't he have one or two sacks? Or no?
No. He had a
Well, I
solo
wasn't a
tackle
Micah
and
Parsons.
assist.
All he cares about is sacks anyway. I'm not a Micah Parsons fan anyway. I'm
All
not a
right.
Micah Parsons. All
All
right,
right. Well,
Nitwit,
go
get the
get
hell
those
out of
other
here.
callers. Go get those other callers.
Well, I am
are
going to
on
get
hold.
him, and just to get you, get out of here. Get out of here. All right. The one thing, and I want to deal with AJ Brown. AJ Brown is just. Hey, listen, we know he's a great player. He's not the best receiver on the team. Devontae Smith is, in my opinion, a little bit better. Hey, listen, you're not going to get the ball. That's not the offensive coordinator. Your quarterback's got to find you, especially when you're open. But you can't. He starts the thing again with. He was on a streaming show where he says, it's good to take me off your fantasy team. Just another comment, and then he comes out this week and he talks to the media. And he kind of tempered it a little bit. Let's hear from AJ Brown. Not the first. one of the first things he said, you can tell he's not happy. Let's hear from AJ Brown. Yes.
As you can see that. And so that's me trying to laugh through my situation. So
how do you see your situation?
How do I see my situation?
What situation do you mean specifically?
Trying to figure it out, trying to get this thing rolling, trying to help, so.
Yeah, so AJ, this past game, you had been only targeted in the first two drives, and then after that, and then it took until the final minute for that play. Why do you think it just never came your way after that?
I don't know. That's a question I can't answer. I think, like I said, I think that's fair. I see that the offense struggling, and I want to help contribute. And I didn't get those opportunities, and so I'm gonna have a problem with that, especially the player I am, and especially the player you want me to be as a player.
Yeah. So AJ, this past game, you had been only targeted in the first two drives, and then after that, and then it took until the final minute for that play. Why do you think it just never came your way?
Yeah. Okay. It started to play over again, but here's what he said: the player that I am, I'm going to have problems. And then the other thing he said was, I don't know what the problem is. Wait a minute. You are in the meetings. You see the tape. You see when you're open. He doesn't want to his credit, I guess, he doesn't want to address what he thinks the problem is. It's not the play call, because there are plays that are called for him that don't go to him. So, and it's not the offensive coordinator. The players on the field make plays, and the quarterback has got to throw at times into a tight window and just trust yourself to do that. All right. And then later, while he was talking to the media this week, he kind of tempered it a little bit. Let's hear that. That's number two.
It's not just solely about my situation. I mean, guys, obviously I want to win too, and I think if we're really focusing on winning and doing our job, we can't just keep slapping the Band-Aid over the defense doing their job and getting us out of trouble. At what point are we going to pick up our slack as an offense that we're so great, and that's what I'm getting at. It's not about we're not winning, or I don't care about winning. All I care about is stats. No, it's been week after week. Sometimes we're not contributing. We're not doing our job on offense. So you can't just keep slapping the Band-Aid over that. And if you expect to win late in the year, you think you're going to go to it at the end of the year. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And last year, what it was, thank you for the ring, but it's a new season. They adapted. We have to adapt, and we have to continue to get better and try to find new ways. So that's where the frustration comes in, because it's not about winning, you guys. I want to win. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. That's great. But you got to keep quiet if you want to win. You got to keep quiet if you want to win. And they're winning. Wait a minute. So they're the Eagles are 8-2. They're winning. And yet you're still complaining. Listen, I know he's a terrific player. However, it's just, you got to deal with it. Now, if you lose, and there's times when you're open, and we've seen by the videos, there's times that he's open and the quarterback doesn't get it there. That's got to be addressed, and I'm sure they do address it in their meetings. It really is. It really is insane. All right. Do we have? I think we have some other callers there, Joe. Okay. All right. Let's go to Tony. All right, Tony. What's up?
Hey, Howard. Hey, yeah. The Flyers look great. I really like that.
Yeah, they won again. They won again on Friday night. They really. I'm telling you,
they got some scores.
I know. Well, they're a much better team. I think. I don't know it's going to happen anytime soon. But other than the Eagles, they're the next team in Philadelphia that I think is going to win a championship.
I think so too. I really do. They have a lot more spirit than the Sixers.
Sixers, Embiid is a waste. I mean, I said a few years ago they should have traded him. Now it's too late. Nobody's going to want. He's always hurt. He's going to be hurt. Here's another issue. I know. I know people in the sales office trying to sell tickets, trying to tell people before the season started so they would buy their tickets. And anybody with half a brain is not going to buy season tickets for the Sixers. But he said, "Oh well, they can. The NBA can declare Joel Embiid not physically fit to play." And they can take him off, and you can use his money for the cap. Take him off. However, here's the problem that the Sixers have. So they wouldn't have to count him against the cap if they do that. I don't think the NBA is going to do that because I don't think Embiid's going to let him do it because he's got that ego. He wants to be around even though he doesn't play. If you do that, you still have to pay the player. So the Sixers would still have to pay $63 million, and then if they want to sign somebody else, sign somebody else. They're not going to do that. They're just not going to do that. He is an albatross. He is one of the reasons they will never win a championship with this group of players. Never with this group of players.
It's a shame. BJ looks great.
Well, he looks good. But
BJ.
I know EdgeCom. You're talking about EdgeCom, right?
Yeah.
Okay. His shooting percentage was better last night. Was better. I mean, they still lost the game. Was better, but his three previous or four previous games, he was 6 for 15.
They got the Celtics scared.
Well, wait a minute. He was 6 for 15. Okay, he was 4 from 8 from 3, which that's all they look at anymore.
Don't forget his block shots.
That's great. I mean, he's a nice. He's how many blocks did he have? He didn't have any block shots last night.
Not last night. I mean, the other night.
Oh, well, okay. But his percentage of shooting the previous night, he's a rookie. He's obviously a talented player, but his shooting percentage has not been good enough. He's not really a good shooter. And last night, Maxi's the best player on the team. I think we agree with that. But last night when you score 31, when you take 31 shots and you only score 31 points, everybody said, "Oh, he's the high scorer." That's not good. He was 13 for 31, Maxi. You can't have that either. They're not a good team. Even though they're 7-5 right now, they've only beat one winning team. I think they've only beaten one winning team this year, and the other teams they've beaten are losing teams. They're not a good team. Will they make the playoffs? Yeah, everybody makes the playoffs, so I wouldn't be surprised. Are they going to go anywhere this year? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. They're not going anywhere.
And the Eagles, the defense wins. That Phillips made a difference.
But they better score more than 10 points. They better score more than 10 points. Yeah, really.
But Brown said he couldn't even wear his coat on the bench there. You see Devontae Smith catch the touchdown. Everybody's congratulating him, and nothing. See AJ
Brown said it's about winning. Well, it is about winning, and you're winning, so you just got to keep quiet. All right, Tony. All right, take care.
See you later. Have a good weekend, Howard.
You too. Thank you. All right. It's just all right. Let me give you. If we there were some other callers there. I don't know if there's anybody still there, but let me give you the question to win a Larry Boa autographed baseball. Okay. I asked Mark Lawrence what he thinks, or the team he thinks, is the biggest surprise this year in the NFC. If you answer that question correctly, you will win an autographed baseball signed by Larry Boa. And just submit it to my website, howardeskin.com. Do it by Tuesday night, November 18th. And the people with the correct answer will be selected at random. The show Wednesday night at 7:30, live on X, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and you can actually go back and look at it just to see if you want to check your answer. The winners will be randomly chosen from all the correct entries. All right, so. It's not a tough question. If you're listening, it's not a tough question. All right. The Eagles play Detroit on Sunday night. Then they play the Cowboys. Boy, this is the toughest game. I think this game that the Eagles are playing is the toughest game the rest of the season. I thought the Chargers were going to be really tough because they're playing in LA. I don't know that the Chargers are all that good this year. I mean, they're good, but are they good enough? So it's just there's some, but the Eagles, they've got to. Here's things the Eagles have to do. They have to score points against Detroit. AJ Brown has got to stop complaining, but I think this is going to be something that Jalen Hurts really tries to do is get him the ball. And they'll get him the ball early and they try to keep him quiet for a little while. But he's got to stop complaining. It's just, he's got to stop complaining. It's that simple. I didn't really get to the Phillies, and maybe we'll get to that the next show. If they don't sign Schwarber, what are they going to do? I mean, they'll get somebody else if they don't sign Schwarber. They'll probably overpay for somebody else. I'm not sure what the Phillies are going to do with Schwarber. And Schwarber doesn't. I mean, he'd like to stay here, but it's his last contract. He wants to get the most money, and he's played other places, so it's not a big deal. It's the most money. It really comes down to the most money because it's his last contract. And what else? They're waiting to sign the other people because they got to see what's going to happen with Schwarber. Do you sign JT Realmuto? I don't think you're going to be able to sign him. Do you sign Bader? And he's going to get other offers. There's some issues. They really have some challenges, and we got to talk about it one of these shows, and we will do so. All right. Thanks for joining us. Everybody have a great weekend. I'm actually today. Michael Simon has a book signing down at the Borgata in Atlantic City. I'm actually, because Michael's a Cleveland Browns fan, so he needs somebody to console him. So I'm going to go down to say hello. He needs somebody to console him because it's just like what they're so bad. They can't win a game on the road, but nonetheless, I'll try to tell him, hey, there's always next year. They got a bunch of draft picks. Everybody have a great weekend. Thanks for joining us on the Howard Eskin Show. Thanks to Joe Gangemi on the production side and the technical side on the other side. Thanks to Tony Anastasia, does all the great graphics for my website and for this show. And you have a great weekend. Thanks for riding with the king on the Howard Eskin Show.